everyone, welcome back. So today I am doing a tutorial on this look right here. This was actually inspired by this lip combination. This is a all e.l.f. lip combination. As I think I've mentioned in my last maybe couple videos, I am working on a best of e.l.f. series. I'm kind of in the middle of it right now when you're watching this probably. So this is one of the lip combinations that I really love by e.l.f. I will get into it in more detail in the tutorial, but I'm using this e.l.f. lip stain duo, this pout perfector, this lip liner and blending brush. So I combined these all to make a really pretty look, and I kind of I knew I wanted to do this lip, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do with the eyes, but I knew I wanted them to be bright and sparkly and also have a little bit of depth to them as well. So I used my beloved Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette for the eyes. So I came up with this look. I thought that this would be great for Valentine's Day and, you know, great for any night out, any kind of occasion. I just really love the red lip, and I like to go a little bit bold on the eyes, but still really make the lips the main focus of the look. And yeah, I use a lot of Too Faced products. That was kind of my goal, was to incorporate as many Too Faced products as I can. I don't really know why, I just kind of did. But then the lips, like I said, are all e.l.f. So that's that. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. Alright, I'm starting off by priming my face with my beloved Arbonne makeup primer and just applying that all over the face and neck as well. Then I just take my fingers and push it into the pores a little bit to kind of smooth it out even more. Then I'm taking my Arbonne foundation in the shade Deep Beige and applying that all over my face and neck as well. And I am just using a dampened beauty blender to blend that foundation into my skin and spread it around and really just get that beautiful natural looking finish. Next, I'm going to conceal and highlight with my Maybelline FitMe concealer in the shade Medium, and I take that under the eyes and make just that sort of triangle shape that you see there. I let that sit for about 30 seconds, and then I will go in with the beauty blender and blend it out. Next, I'm using my Arbonne powder foundation. I don't remember the shade name, but I'll list it below. And I'm using my Real Techniques sponge, and I'm applying that powder foundation all basically over where I applied the concealer. I'm kind of using it to set the concealer, and I'm going to let it bake, which just means I'm going to let it sit on my face for about 15 minutes and allow the powder to really mix with the warmth of my skin and set in really well, so that color will really stay all day, since it is Valentine's Day and we might be out late. Alright, I let that sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. I did my eyebrows. And now I am just taking a large fluffy brush and brushing away the excess of that powder foundation. So a lot of it is going to stay just because we did let it sit for a good long time, but we don't want any excess. So I'm just brushing that excess away. And then I'm going in with the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder and setting the rest of my face. I'm focusing on the areas that don't have powder on them already. This will help not only the makeup last longer, but also when we add contour and highlight and blush and everything, it helps those products blend into everything else better as well. Speaking of contouring, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Matte Bronzer to contour my cheekbones. And I am just carving out the hollows of my cheekbones and smelling it because it smells like chocolate and I love it. And I'm just using a limited edition Sonia Kashuk brush, but any brush with that sort of shape really helps carve out the cheekbones. And then I'm going to go in with a
more fluffy blending brush in a second to blend out that sort of harsh line that I created, but I like to really go in and create that line first, kind of make sure it's even on both sides, and then I'll go in and blend it out. And then I'm using my Arbonne brush. I think it's a bronzer, I don't know what it's for, but it's an angled fluffy brush, and it is perfect for blending out contour and bronzer all over the face. And that is what I'm doing. Like I said, I am just blending out that line that I created and softening it up a little bit so it looks more natural. Okay, then I'm taking the darker shade from the Too Faced Cocoa Contour and using that to warm up my face because it's a little bit warmer than the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. So I'm using that around the outsides of my face, especially my forehead, to really give it that dimension and depth and just kind of warm everything up. Then I am taking the shade Incandescent Light from my Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette and highlighting the high points of my face, so forehead, nose, and cheekbones, a little bit on the chin, and that is what I am focusing on for highlighting. Now it is time for the eyes. Then I'm taking the Maybelline Color Tattoo and placing that all over my lid with a flat concealer brush, and I'm just placing that where I know I'm going to want my lighter eyeshadow color. Then, since the color tattoo is acting as a primer on my lid, I'm using my Maybelline FitMe concealer above that as, sort of to prime the rest of the space between the lid and the brow for eyeshadow and such. Then for that base shade, I am taking the shade Satin Sheets from the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette, and I've just placed that all over the lid, all over that color tattoo, which really just helps it pop and really shows the color nicely. Then I'm taking the shade Almond Truffle from that palette and using a sort of a crease brush, I'm placing that in the crease. For me, it's a little bit above the crease because I do have hooded eyes and I kind of want to create an illusion of more of a crease, but that is what I'm doing to add depth, and that is one of my favorite shades in the whole palette is Almond Truffle. It's so beautiful. Then I'm just taking a clean blending brush and blending out the edges of that shade. Now I'm taking the shade Satin Sheets again and sort of dusting it under my lower lash line. I'm letting it be a bit smudgy and messy because that will all tie in with the look in a minute, as you will see. And then I'm going to take the shade Earl Grey, which is kind of a bluish gray shade, and line my lower lash line. So I'm really sticking to the lash line here. I'm not smoking it out too much yet and keeping it just really tight to the lash line. Then I am going to line my lower lash line, my waterline I should say, with just a nice black eyeliner. Now going back to the upper lash line, I actually took some of the Earl Grey shade on an angled liner brush and I am really carefully placing it along my lash line, but I am going to go in and smoke it out in a minute, and I'm also going to add more on the outer corner, but I wanted to start by just placing it carefully along the upper lash line. Now I'm taking an eyeshadow smudger brush and just smudging out the shadow that I placed, and I am picking up a little bit of additional shadow as I need it and kind of increasing the depth of the color very gradually. Okay, and then right after this is when I kind of smoked out that upper lash line and I didn't quite catch it on camera. You can't even hardly see the difference, but it just added a little bit of a nice gradation. So now I'm going in with my Too Faced Glamour Dust and I am placing that all over the lid. I actually used MAC Fix Plus, sprayed that on my brush, which is a flat concealer brush, and then I dipped it in the Glamour Dust and it's just like a loose pigment with kind of a gold shimmer to it. And I'm applying that all over the lid, about 3/4 of the way, I would say, over the lid, and that just adds, and I thought it was just an awesome look of a lot of shimmer and very, very pretty. It did end up having a lot of fallout though, so I did have to brush away the excess glitter, but that's okay. Then I went in with my Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara, my all-time favorite mascara. I don't think anything can ever replace it. I will try using other stuff, but I always come back to this one because it is just so good. It just makes the lashes look literally like you have false lashes on, and I feel like it multiplies the number of lashes I have. It's just an amazing mascara, and I really love it for a really big impact, you know, voluminous look. It's just perfect. And this is the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare mascara. It's the one with the really thin brush. I think they have two from that line, but this is the thin brush one. And I'm just applying that to my lower lash line. It really coats the lower lashes well without making them look too clumpy or anything, but just helps them stand out, which is nice for a look like this since we did add quite a bit to the lower lash line. Then I'm doing my brows with the e.l.f. It's like a liner and brow cream product. And I alternate between the spoolie and an angled brow brush, and I just fill in my brows with that product. And then I'm just going to set them with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. And then I'm taking the shade Divinity and I am highlighting my brow bone. Wow, I forgot that word for a second. Yes, highlighting the brow bone. Then I'm taking the Too Faced Love Flush Blush in the shade How Deep Is Your Love, and I'm taking a stippling brush and just lightly applying that right to the apples of my cheeks. And I always like to start light with a bright blush like this and then sort of build it up gradually. And I didn't want too much color on the cheeks just because I didn't want it to take away from the lips and the eyes, but I did want a little bit of a natural sort of flush to the cheeks. Then I wanted to add even more highlight, so I'm taking the shade Pop of Light, which does have bits of glitter in it, so if you don't like that, you won't like this, but I like it, and I just applied that over the other highlight on my cheekbones. And then it is time for the lips. So starting with this e.l.f. lip liner in the shade Red, I am just lining my lips. I wanted the lips to look extra big and plump for this look, so I am only lining the outside of my lips, and the liner is a bit darker than the lip shade I'm going to use, so it will really help with that sort of illusion that lips are fuller. Okay, next I'm taking this e.l.f. Lip Stain Duo. It has a matte, basically liquid lipstick on one end and a gloss on the other end. So I'm starting with the matte liquid lipstick and I'm applying that all over the lips. And you could honestly leave it there. If you wanted a matte lip, you could just leave it at that, but I am not leaving it at that. I'm going all out for this. So next I'm taking this fun little contraption called the Pout Perfector. And this is just a very shimmery, basically like a lip gloss. It just adds shimmer, and I'm placing that right in the center of the lips to really create that illusion of fuller, plumper lips. It really draws the light to it. And then I'm going in with the gloss on that other end of that duo and just glossing everything up. Just like I said, going all out. So that's just a little lip trick that I have. Some really great products from e.l.f. if you have smaller lips and you want to make them look fuller. That's just a little trick that I have up my sleeve. I hope you guys find it useful.
Alright guys, that is it for my tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. That will help other people find it in the YouTube world. And make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye!